What's up, guys? Welcome to Tejal TV. I'm Tejal V. Patel, and this is the place to learn super simple and super practical tools to stress less, live mindfully, and raise mindful children too. And today I'm talking about a topic that I get the most questions on. How do I teach mindfulness and meditation to my kids? Now, there is a real 4-step foundational process that needs to go into play before you start telling your child to take deep breaths during the midst of a meltdown. Because what's likely going to happen is that they're going to bark at you and say, no, I don't want to take deep breaths. You're going to get frustrated and you're going to be like, my kid doesn't sit still or won't take deep breaths. And that's not the case. You've got to lay out the right foundation in order for them to be successful. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. So I have experience teaching children in the classroom setting between the ages of 3 to 9. Now, I have my own son who I started teaching these tools. I started implementing them when he was around a year old, but he was a little too young. 18 months is a great time period to start building these foundational skills. Now, if you have a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old who's never done these tools before, you want to start at the beginning. Even though an 18-month-old and a 5-year-old are doing the same thing, that's all right. You got to meet your child where they're at. Now, a lot of kids get yoga and mindfulness at school. So I want you to know that don't assume that they know what to do. You got to lay out the process of how to use it when they're experiencing big emotions and relaxation. So that's a little bit different than sometimes the classroom setting of how we teach. So let's dive in. So step 1 is before you even tell them to take a mindful breath, you got to do this number 1 thing. And that is build emotional awareness. You got to build a recognition of the first 5 feelings, the core feelings, which are anger, sadness, happiness, peace, and tired. And the way that you build this is reading books. There are tons and tons and tons of books out there about feelings, and I probably have almost all of them, which is great because I like to sift through them and I use them in my classrooms. I use them with my kids. And if you want to know the books that I use, make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll tell you how you can get my cheat sheet. So books are a great way to build that dialogue and for you to have the vocabulary of how you're going to introduce it in day-to-day with your child. So the way that we do it is you want to make sure that you're labeling as much as possible. I see that you're feeling happy because of, I see that you're feeling angry. I know that you made that poor choice because you're feeling sad, or whatever the case may be, you are relating their feelings to them. Then the other way is recognizing your feelings and stating it. Mommy's feeling so tired. Mommy's feeling so sad. Mommy's feeling so angry because blah, blah, blah happened. So that's a great way for them to start recognizing their feelings and other people's feelings. So that's like the foundation of empathy. So that's step number 1, naming it to tame it, recognizing emotions. So when you're now moving on to step 2, that's when you're going to introduce breathing to your child. And the number 1 thing you want to make sure that you tell them is breathing is a tool that when you're feeling X, when you're feeling angry, or when you're feeling sad, you can use calm breathing to help you feel happy or peaceful. It is that bridge when you're having big feelings. The other thing that you want to teach them is that calm breathing helps them relax and calm down. So when you want to get good sleep, when you want to feel relaxed before a test, this is a great thing to do. So it's the big feelings and the relaxation. So the number 1 thing that moms tell me then is, well, my child doesn't sit still for more than 2 seconds, so I don't know how I'm going to teach them how to breathe. And there's the thing. There is one time almost every day that your child has to sit still and they can't get up. Do you know what it is? In their car seat. So when they're strapped in their car seat is a perfect time to start talking about deep breathing, start practicing it. They can't go anywhere. So what I did was I would say, Mommy's taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And there are videos of this on my Instagram under Mindful Kids. You can see my son going through this progress from 18 months to now being 3.5 of how he utilizes these tools. And so that's one step. And then the second is we would listen to Kira Wiley's Mindful Moments soundtrack. There are these small 1-minute little clips of guided breathing exercises with little songs so you guys can do it together. And it was the easiest way to get my son to practice deep breathing without me having to tell him to do it. And that's something that he's still now at 3.5 will recognize, Mommy, can you put my calm down music on in the car? And usually going to school, that's what he asks to listen to. So that's the second thing of introducing it, is in the car. While they're strapped in, they can't go anywhere. Try these two techniques. Now, step number 3. Now you're going to bring it into the practice into the home. So with meditation, a great way to do that is at nighttime, listening to the Sade meditation soundtracks. So they're really short, 3 to 5 minute, children-friendly guided meditations that you can do together, and they have prompts to take deep breaths. And this is how you can teach them that calm breathing helps you relax. So that's the easier one, because in our house, we have book, a story, and then we have this mindful breathing or this mindful relaxation time. The second part of this can be a little bit more time consuming, but don't get frustrated or discouraged. The second part is, how do you bring this practice into the home? When you're feeling a big emotion, how do you use calm breathing? So what we do is we created a calm down corner, and we use this Generation Mindful's Time In toolkit, and they have beautiful pictures of the emotions, so your child can look and point at the emotions. How do you feel? How do you want to feel? And what calming tools are you going to use to get you there? So there's pictures of tons of different calming strategies there. So get your child acquainted with it, get them involved in creating the space, what calm things that they want to put there, whether it's puzzles or books or calming jars or water. We have a little fountain there, for my son, because he likes the water sound, singing bells, crystals, whatever it is. Get them engaged, because you want them to feel this is their safe space, that when they're having a big moment, this is where they go. So we've eliminated timeouts. I've actually never used a timeout, but this is what you use instead, is this time in corner. And you don't want to relate it to a punishment. So when they're having a meltdown, go to your time in corner. You need to calm down. You need to take a deep breath. No, it's not like that. You're going to guide them there, gently. And we'll talk a little bit about that in step number 4. But so 2 of the tools that I use is the Hoberman sphere and a straw. Kids need to see that their breath is tangible. So in the moment, having something in their hands to help them take deep breaths, this can help. I have tons of different tools of things that we put in our calm down corner. So if you want to know those tools, stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll tell you where you can get that. So now when they have some acquaintances during their calm period of their calm down corner, now you're going to try to put it into test when they have a meltdown. So you want to guide them. You're going to ask them, do you want to take a deep breath? They might say no the first few times. Don't get discouraged. You keep gently guiding them, and you sit with them and you ask them, how do you feel? Let them point at a picture. How do you want to feel? Let them point at a picture and pick a calm down strategy. So it might not always be calm breaths, but it could be something an activity that's going to help them calm down. And then you'll say, taking deep breaths. It takes a lot of practice, repetition, and patience, just like potty training or tying shoes. So don't get discouraged and keep at it. So those are the 4 foundational steps of building mindfulness and meditation into your child's life. Now, if you're ready to take the next step and you want to learn the 4 steps and essential skills for your child to thrive, I can teach you everything you need to know, from emotional intelligence, stress resilience, mindful breathing and yoga, and building self-compassion and empathy for others. I have a course called the Mindful Kids Masterclass that will teach you everything that you need to know. So if you need help in implementing these tools, and if you want my cheat sheets with the tools I use, the books I use, the parenting scripts to make life in those power struggle and defiant moments really easy, make sure you check it out. Go to tejalvpatel.com/mindful kids join, or you can just go to the Work With Me link on my website and look for the Mindful Kids Masterclass, and everything you need to know is right there. So I hope this serves you well. Share this video, and I can't wait to give more tools to you regarding mindful parenting. Bye guys.